Hey guys, Dan Hood here. I got the camera adjusted a little funny so you guys can see something more close up. Surprisingly, I seem to get all these similar questions all at the same time. I've gotten a lot of questions from people about how do I tell if the slingshot is strong enough to handle the bands I have, handle the whatever, just can it handle the twist, the torsion, whatever. Now, so I'm gonna do, this is basically what the first time I ever saw it used was Jorg Sprawl, the Slingshot channel. It's called a vice test. For those of you who don't know, I'm not sure who started it. I've seen Gamekeeper John apply it, John Webb. I've seen Jorg apply it on numerous occasions. I don't know if I've seen any other videos, but it's a real simple process, okay? Now, I have my slant here. For those who don't know, the bands finally broke. I think they have the Simple Shot Black Latex. I think they have over 1,200 rounds through them. Anyway, I shoot a lot now. But take a simple vise. You can use either one. Just make sure, if you've got, if it's a bit of a problem, make sure you don't scratch your slingshot or whatever. Here's my vise. Let me kind of adjust it so that the gap is enough to hold the slingshot. Okay. And I'm going to put this cloth over it just to prevent from scratching. I go in about 1/2 inch. Okay, you're not going to see my face much now. About 1/2 inch on the slingshot. Most of you won't. You'll see that I've got two to adjust mine to specific width so that it grabs both forks tightly. Okay. You gotta be. For those of you with a metal vise, just put it in the middle and clamp tight. Okay. That's about where it needs to be. No more shake. Now, these luggage scales. These are for weighing suitcases, okay? You hang the suitcase and check it before you go to the airport. I've seen these for as low as $5 in the US at places like Target and Walmart. Now, most of the time you have to find them online because it's not something they just keep on the shelf because not everybody's buying them. I believe they're on Amazon as well. You can get them anywhere from about $5 to about $20. My dad gave this to me as a present because he went to buy one because he traveled a lot. He and my mom traveled a lot, and then it was like if he bought one more, it was cheaper to buy the extra one than to pay the shipping that came free if he got all of them. So this one, you can do a variety of things. You can tie a string around this. You can, if you're like me, you're lucky, and this one has a strap. Okay, so I just leave the strap. Now, one thing you got to remember, you don't need to pull it from way up here, because most of the time you hold a slingshot like this, okay? If you want to pull it up there to be extra safe, go ahead. But I put it about where my fingers wrap, okay? I turn on the thing. And then, honestly, guys, unless you're putting huge bands on, most band sets have less than 20 pounds of pull, okay? So I suggest to people, don't test it. Wooden slingshots, you're looking at about 10 to 15 pounds of pull. Don't test it for more than about double the bands you expect to put on it, okay? Now, if I'm going super, super heavy bands, I rarely put them on a natural wood unless it's just a strictly rough natural fork, no cuts, no nothing. Or like Mark's slingshot here, I'd put it on. But see, what you do is you just pull it. So if I'm never going to put more than 20 pounds on this slingshot, I'll pull it to, I don't know, 40 pounds. You see nothing happens except that it moved in the vise, okay? Pull it up to 40 pounds. Slingshot's safe at 40 pounds, okay? The end. Story done, okay? Now, that's for over the top, okay? Say you have a through the fork. Now, through the fork applies pressure differently. When you pull through the fork, what it tries to do, if you look at the slingshot, it tries to fold the slingshot in on itself. Easy. Clamp one fork, okay? Leave one fork free, okay? Clamp it as tight as you can. Now, remember, you're going to have half the band strength when you do through the fork. If you're normally pulling 15 pounds, only half of that is trying to twist one fork, okay? The other fork is being twisted differently, so just remember that. Be careful. Do your physics. I clamp around the fork. I say, okay, I'm looking for, you know, if I pull in at 20, I'm looking, you know, I'm about 10 to 15 of it's going to transfer here. I always go a little higher, so what do? I wrap around the one fork, and as long as you can keep it in your vise, I pull it to about 20, 25, okay? Now you'll notice the slingshot moved a little when you put it in a metal vise or you clamp it better. It doesn't do it, but you can see I've tested this for both. Now, granted, Mark never designed this for through the fork, but this is such a solid slingshot, I just wanted to use it to show you guys that it was going, and I don't mind if I ruin the bands because they're already broken. Now, several things of advice before you do it. Do this testing before you do final sanding, okay? Now, granted, if you get, you know, sometimes there's folks who don't quite understand what they're doing, and if you get a weird slingshot in a trade that you don't trust, it's going to come finished. So, you know, do your best to protect it from damage and do a couple of pulls, okay? If you're making one, you know, especially these natural forks where you know, like, let me see if I got one sitting around here. Like a natural fork like this, which you've cut out and done some weird things to, those are the ones you really got to be careful of, okay? Laminates, as long as you know what you're doing, or plywood, you kind of, you know, don't cut too skinny, you should be fine. It's these that are really dangerous. And you can see I've cut, this is cut and ready and just run through the spindle sander, okay? It hasn't, in other words, there's about, for me, there's about half an hour's worth of work in this, okay? I would put this in and test it now before I proceeded any further, okay? Because fine sanding doesn't take much off and doesn't change the strength much once you get this core shape. So put this core shape in and test it. Now remember, just because you stabilize something, you know, somebody talked about stabilizing it in resin, doesn't magically make it 100 times stronger. I've found even when I properly stabilize and everything, there's still forks that are weak. It helps the grain a little bit, but we're not talking doubling the strength or whatever, tripling the strength. We're talking like 20-30% strength increase, okay guys? So we're not, just you know, just keep that in mind. Don't think that stabilizing with cactus juice resin is the be all and end all answer. It's not. Now, if you accidentally break one of these while you're doing it, you can do a couple of things. You know, if it fork tests and it breaks, you throw it away. Or if you want, take a saw and slice it in half, or put something on the front like an aluminum core on the front, or slice it in half, put aluminum core between the two halves, and, you know, strengthen it up, and you can still use it, and you can glue the crack back together then, and everything is fine. The good thing is that piece that broke off didn't come hit you in the face while you were pulling. You notice when I pulled down here near my chest level, right? So that if it popped up, worst case it would hit me in the chest, but more than likely it'll just come here and it'll fall to the floor. Remember that. Don't be pulling like this. I've seen one or two people try to do that. That's crazy, because if it pops off, it's no worse than you pulling bands on it and letting it pop off. Just go pull bands till it hits you in the face. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. I'll post this video. If you guys got any questions, let me know. For those of you who don't already know, the slant's a heck of a strong slingshot. Take care, guys.